Maybe? Army loot capacity plus 25%. Prolific hunters. Delay between hunt activities minus 50. Hunter traits are seen as prestigious. Characters gain hunter traits more often. Spartan. Castle buildings and holdings cost less and build less, but you get less monthly prestige. Zealous and humble more likely to occur. Characters of this culture become shield maidens if they're biased against them. Again, they're not. Oh, performative honor has less penalties. Right to prove loses knights, but your knights are better. Trials by combat. Crimes by characters you cannot imprison who aren't your liege may be settled via combat. Blade Master line gives learning, and you can get an extra knight. Xenophilic cultural acceptance, which we don't really do. Ritual, bound by faith. Only characters of the same faith can inherit. By the sword. No limit to the number of kingdom level holy wars that can be declared by one ruler. Concubines. Characters can only have one spouse. Rulers, if allowed by gender law, can have up to 3 concubines. Which I don't like, especially with the split successions. Culinary artists. Feast activity costs a lot more, but they give more prestige and renown. Frequent festivities. Delay between feast activities is down. We don't really do those though. Linguists we don't really do because we are just learning Dutch. Medicinal herbalists. Gain herbalist trait more often. Hostile scheme success chances also increased. Rulers can blind prisoners. Monogamous. Only have one spouse. Can have up to 4 spouses. Sacred hunts. Completing a hunt activity provides piety. We don't really use piety for anything though. Or ting meats. We can again get Scandinavian elective, but we got rid of that earlier. Or we can change our ethos. Oh no, that requires a lot more prestige to do. But that would allow us to switch to any of the others. Or we can replace any of these as well with any of the others. Kind of interesting. Like Northern Stories we could get rid of and give it something more interesting. Does that cost more? Yes, that is much more expensive. So getting a new one is much cheaper. The problem with the pirate one is you lose prestige when raiding. When returning from a successful raid, non-tribal characters lose 1.5 prestige per 1 loot delivered. Ah, yes, you're right. Those are not tribal. Which would mean that reforming these traditions would become very, very difficult. Because we're not tribal. That's a good catch. That is a downside. Alright, let's go and start putting together a list of the different ones that we can have. So manage poll, new poll, which question mark. So I'm going to put practice pirates on the list. Just be aware that there is a hefty downside, and it will make getting more of these in the future much more difficult. No. City keepers maybe, because it goes really well with parochialism. Guilds line of buildings can be constructed nearer early, just like the shipyards. So I'm going to put city keepers in the list. If I could spell keepers, that would help. Collective lands, no, that's the peasants. Culture blending we don't need. Metalworkers. Metalworkers seems really strong. It encourages us to get blacksmiths, and also makes the army tougher. And our units are going to be really tough anyway. So this, I think, is kind of doubling down on our Norse heritage, which, frankly, we took a lot more of the Dutch traditions. So we'll definitely go with that. Warfare. Wasn't massively impressed by any of these. Only the strong, maybe. It will make the men-at-arms recruitment cost more. Not the upkeep, the recruitment. And knights must have at least 12 prowess. We can get more knights, the knight effectiveness is increased, but the levy size goes down. That would make us really reliant on the knights. I mean, we already are. I'm going to put it on the list, because I think it's an interesting one, but that will quite radically change the way to play this. Also, city holdings tend to have really big levies. So that's going to be against the city holdings. One thing we have done a lot of is recruiting prisoners. So recognition of talent would be within the way that we're playing. Prisoners more likely to accept recruitment, gain a positive opinion modifier when recruited, and the recruiter gains a strong hook. And we would get better knights from the invite champions decision. We do have the house bonus for better guests as it is. So I feel like recognition of talent really fits in with how we're playing. So is Stalwart Defenders, because again, everyone's against us. We're the Norse Kingdom in the middle of Catholic Europe. So you know what? I'm going to have to make a notepad thing of this, because there's a lot of them. So we got practiced, pirates, we've got city keepers, we've got metal workers, we've got only the strong, we've got recognition of talent, we've got stalwart defenders, because most of our wars have been defensive, and this would give us more defensive bonuses, and also increases the golden prestige we get from winning defensive wars. So what we might want to do, and here's a thought, is if we get practiced pirates, then the way to get around the prestige losses that we get from that would be stalwart defenders. So maybe we go stalwart defenders, then switch out, say, northern stories for practiced pirates later. Maybe. Stand and fight, I think, is honestly bad. Increases maintenance costs. We don't have mercenaries. Definitely not strength in numbers. Warriors by merit. This does increase prowess, but not by a huge amount. That's like a maximum of +5 prowess. Although, knights gain Blade Master more often. Maybe. I'll add it to the list. Warriors by merit. And then Winter Warriors, yeah, it's nice, but honestly, it's not that cold that often. Winter for us lasts about 2 months. That's it. If it was like 6 months, or even 4 or 5 months, fine, but it's not. If we're in Finland, it would be really strong. Dexterous Fisherman. Coastal holdings in counties with culture provide additional defender advantage. And we also get a coastal advantage of +5 wherever. So it's +5 plus something else. A dexterous fisherman's actually mixes in nicely. We have a big freaking coast. I mean, martial admiration, again, from a roleplay perspective, would be in keeping, because we are reliant on our knights. Martial education traits are more valued. Squire, knight, banneret, and champion traits are more valued. I don't even know how you get those. Blade master traits have additional bonuses. Craven and content are looked down upon. Knights are slightly more prone to injury during battles, but they also have that injury resistance, prowess +5. Can challenge rivals to single combat, inflicting stress if you win. Yeah, martial admiration I think should be on the list, because that is actually really close to how we've been fighting. I think more than only the strong. In fact, I'm going to remove only the strong in favour of martial admiration. I don't think any of these ritual ones are really particularly in keeping with our nation. No. Sorcerous metallurgy. Costs more gold to sponsor characters of this culture with a weapon inspiration. Characters of this culture produce higher quality artifacts when completing weapons. Characters of this culture gain piety from the barracks line. Prowess from level of devotion +1. Does not have the accepted doctrine. Accepted doctrine. Ah, characters with the witch trait are fully accepted. I see. I mean, we could do metallurgy and then sorcerer's metallurgy. That would be kind of interesting. Was right to prove, shield maidens. But only if you're not an equal society. We are. Okay, so back to our list. We have got 8 things on it. Practiced pirates, city keepers, metalworkers, recognition of talent, stalwart defenders, warriors by merit, dexterous fishermen, and then martial admiration. I'm going to say no to practiced pirates, because I would like to change these traits more in the future. Metalworkers, I think, is a really good option. Dexterous fishermen is a really good option. City keepers. What does city keepers do again? Oh yes, the guild's line. City building construction times also reduced. I mean, it doesn't have a huge number of bonuses, but it just goes so well with parochialism. In fact, coastal warriors plus dexterous fishermen just doubles down really, really nicely. That's under social, isn't it? Yeah, with the coastal advantages. Well, with polders, skirmishes become better, and in the 4th era we get the Goddendags. So at that point, skirmisher damage and toughness and maintenance might come into play, although that does reduce the infantry, heavy infantry buffs. I mean, that might be a late game change to make. We're not there yet, though. Right, so that's 3 of the choices. I like martial admiration. And I like stalwart defenders. What was recognition of talent again? That was the Knights one, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, the prisoner recruitment. We've been in a lot of defensive wars. I think stalwart defenders makes more sense. Half tempted to get rid of the city keepers. We haven't been that reliant on cities, not yet. Then let's bring in recognition of talent. This is going to be legit a hard choice. Okay. Let's write these down. So we've got metal workers on the pole. We've got dexterous fisherman. We've got martial admiration. We've got stalwart defenders. We've got recognition of talent. Okay, so just as a very quick final check, metalworkers, royal armories and blacksmiths have additional bonuses and counties of this culture. The downside to that is that's a ducal building, so we're not going to have a huge number of them. Might be slightly better for a wide civilization, but army gold maintenance goes up. We're Dutch, so we should make a lot of money, though it has been a problem up till now. And army toughness goes up, which gels really well with just making the heavy infantry tougher. Like, our armies go down hard. Great Book of Grudges, hello! Thank you very much for the raid. How dare you raid Vikings? We're the raiders. In fact, one of the things we're discussing right now is whether we should be able to raid again, because at the moment we can't. And with that in mind, the option for raiding... No, I took it off. Never mind. It's not one of the options. So, for those of you just joining us, hello. My name is Mordred Viking. We are currently working on creating the new traditions for our lovely realm, the Nether Norse, which are the Norse in the Netherlands, hence Nether Norse. And we're trying to create what their traditions are. So we are currently coastal warriors, maritime mercantilists, we build boulders, we're parochial, and we have northern stories. And there is a list of 5 different options that we're trying to add one of to that list. So either metalworking, which will make our blacksmiths better, our armies more expensive but more tough. Dexterous fishermen, which basically means we fight them on the seas. As soon as I find my deck, there it is. Which will mean that we get defensive bonuses on the coast, and our coastal holdings will get even more defensive bonuses. Considering how much of a coast we have, that's pretty good. Then we've got martial admiration, which is going to be a way of... Where is it? It's a realm bonus, isn't it? Ah, where is it? I wish you could, like, favourite them or something. Social? There it is. Martial admiration, which will make martial education traits more valued. We already get a lot of those. The champion traits are more valued. Blade Master have additional bonuses. Knights are more prone to injury, but they also have a resistance to injury, and we get more knights. And we've been very reliant on the knights, so our admiration of the martial classes is certainly there. Stalwart defenders means that we are a lot stronger when we get attacked. We are a Norse territory in the middle of the Catholic world. We get attacked a lot, and we have a real history of fighting against massive odds and winning, except against Sweden. Fricking Sweden. And then recognition of talent is when we take prisoners. We've been recruiting those prisoners pretty heavily and turning them into knights if they prove themselves worthy. And we also use the invite champions decision aggressively because we are very reliant on the knights. Recognition of talent just blends well with how we've been playing. So these are the 5 choices. We're going to be doing a 2-minute poll as of now. Get your votes in. Which of those 5 do you think we should get? Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. This is all Royal Court stuff. Yes, yes it is. So to give you a little bit of the history, we started out as the Count of Gotland over here. We did a very, very optimistic invasion of the Netherlands and won. And we have slowly but surely been building ourselves up from there. We've just recently taken over Denmark. Not because we plan to keep it, because I intend to put one of our kids on the throne of Denmark. That basically will happen automatically when she dies. It'll split off and then it will be a independent realm, but still of our dynasty, so we get bonuses for that. And now we're basically just trying to reform our culture in the Nether Norse, because we have a load of prestige and we can do that. So get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. Got another minute or so to go. Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. Someone clearly wants Mordred to be the fisher in this. Yes. Have I decided where my dynasty will move to? Move? Move? What do you think this is? March of the Vikings? This is the Nether Norse. Ah. Get the right place. There you go. Because I'm not wearing my usual headset, my hair keeps on drifting down. It's very annoying, keeps going in my eyes. Alright, so, the vote is in. Stalwart Defenders came in last with 3% of the vote, so nobody seems to care that we have this great history of beating everybody. Recognition of Talent at 7% of the vote, so nobody cares about the fact that we've been recruiting all of the prisoners. Martial Admiration came in with 10% of the vote, and nobody seems to care that we admire the martial classes for keeping us alive. Metalworkers, the one that I thought was probably the strongest, came in with 13% of the vote, so nobody seems to care that we care about our heavy infantry. And 66% went for Dexterous Fisherman, which I think was actually just Gladiatorial Artorius, contributing a whopping 61,000 channel points in pretty much an uncontested election up until then, with the Dexterous Fisherman. So that is what we're going to go for. Dexterous Fisherman to go with the coastal defences that we already have in place. Reform, add, social, Dexterous Fisherman, 2,000 prestige, go. Okay, cool. So it'll take 16 years for this to come into place. My gosh, your learning is so bad. That's why our science has been so slow. What's Machio's science like? Oh, for Pete's sake. Why are my family so dumb? He's not even good at fighting. It's like our only heritage. He's strong. Ah! Okay, the raiders are leaving. Are we dumb as a pair of rocks? No. No. Pretty sure that rocks are smarter than we are. Payback for what you did to them, Ark. I brought it into the glorious realm of Mordheim. We got them to see the light. They are now almost entirely also true. Speaking of which, actually, are you still converting? No, you've stopped. Get back to work. You're still doing development. You are building up the knightly fighting capabilities, which is good because our champion effectiveness is now 228. Speaking of which, I would like to see if we can recruit another wave of champions. Let's go ahead and do that, seeing as we didn't actually spend all of our abilities. And we can get a new martial lifestyle up. Which I think we're going to get a woman's home. And then I think I'm going to go back to stewardship. Oh, except I can't because we just changed recently. Damn it. So we'll have controlled territory defender advantage +5, which is nice. That would have been another one that would have been really nice to have against Sweden. So hey, Sweden. How's it going? Carl, he did my summons. Carl, good. Carl, a Catholic, though. Carl, convert. And are we still building up Harlem? We are. When can we build these? We need to have the Burrs innovation, which is under siege. The true enemy of every soldier is complacency, my vassal Count Giselbert says before blushing. We are standing side by side up on the castle walls, looking down the soldiers conducting drills below. We could exchange the castle's gate for planks of wood and dull the arrows of the troop quivers, he continues. Lead the soldiers in a mock charge against the castle and see how well they do in action. Good idea. You should lead the defenders. Done. A tightly shut gate and walls that loom high in the sky. Archers can be seen as shadows moving behind the battlements, and a feeling of genuine excitement permeates the air. Charge the main gate! 99% chance of it going well. It goes really well. Not just well, but really well. The stairwell echoes as another dulled weapon bounces off the middle pillar. For the second time in a matter of minutes, I curse the tight spiral that blocks us from swinging our weapons and the defenders. The heaving breath of the soldiers around me is deafening, and every attack repelled, they grow more resigned and frustrated. I take charge of the situation. One at a time. Stay alert! Behind me. I will protect you! Don't let up. We will overwhelm them. I'm not good at that, so we're going to do that and gain some impatience. Because I will win! Taking the final step onto the wall surrounding the castle, I survey the scene. Many soldiers may have been lost to the archers on the walls, but we will not be deterred. One after another, we overwhelm the defenders and stand victorious over the fallen. I take a deep breath, and then it's time to press on again. We are winning, but there's no time for mistakes. Hit them hard! They are not your friends today. The castle is ours. Among the celebrating soldiers I find Count Gotland, who congratulates me on a charge well led. Look at them, my lady. The change of pace did them good. Even you seem revigorated, even though the castle was just lost to attackers. I gain a free perk. That is one heck of a move. Alright, well, I guess we'll endure the hardships, which will increase the fort levels on my fortifications by a level. So we're even better at defending. You know, like we defend stalwartly. I have a level 6 fort. Level 7 fort, even. It's 984. And I still want to go after these guys and see if I can get them to flip. I just don't know that I necessarily want to do it with you. Your health is still fine, though. It's going to end up being like, you'll be in power until like you're 90. Who are you at war with? Nobody. What territories does Lotharingia have that I still want? I mean, those. Oh. Oh. Oh, Lotharingia. Oh, dear. I mean, it would be rude if I didn't take Lower Lorraine. I mean, it's just so much flat land and farmland. It would be really rude for me not to take this. And I can't be known to be somebody who's rude. Let's go to war. Raise the army! We're going to war!